What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, trolls and citizens, the JJs and PPs? This is your boy Sam Lee giving you a new video on What If Episode 6. This series has been wild to say the least, throwing me off on every episode, but I'm really enjoying it overall and really liking the what if theories and scenarios of if the characters made completely different life decisions. This sort of reminds me of the enjoyment I'm having with Dragon Ball superheroes in the sense of multiverse and parallel universe ideas. However, when it came to Black Panther, I was actually genuinely concerned on what they would do with the character in this show, and my concerns were verified. I think this is the perfect time to give my idea that I've actually had since Chadwick Boseman's passing of how they should carry on Black Panther in the MCU. Chadwick Boseman's passing is still really fresh on my mind, and I think a lot of our minds, especially with the new releases of the Black Panther DLC and the Avengers video game, and just hearing his voice in this new What If series. It can really make us fans feel kind of melancholy about the whole situation, but nonetheless it's still really good to hear his voice and his acting in the series. But him dying didn't work for me, and I think it didn't work for a lot of people. Even the funeral scene that they had for him was too surreal, and this to me was such a bittersweet episode because of this. So because of that bittersweet feeling, I thought it would be a great opportunity to share my idea on how this should not be done in the MCU. I've had this idea for quite some time now, so let's get to it. The movie starts with Doctor Strange's multiverse chaos happening. In this multiverse chaos, there are tons of spirits, millions and millions of spirits flying around, and in this chaotic portal we cut to a scene where Shuri and Black Panther are isolated. Somehow Black Panther is able to save Shuri in this chaotic portal, but this is just their souls flying around, and I would think it would be appropriate to have Black Panther's mask helmet stay on for the simple fact of not 3D printing Chadwick Boseman's face into the scene. During this chaotic portal, Black Panther grabs Shuri's hand, and all of a sudden they see bubbles, these giant bubbles, and in those bubbles are like the memories of just everything they've been through together, everything they went through. All of a sudden, Black Panther turns, knowing what to do, being guided by his father's spirit. You would hear like his father talking to him, or maybe see him. Shuri would see or hear the same thing too. This is when Black Panther would say to Shuri, "It is your time." It would cut to Black Panther's soul being transported into Shuri's body, and also the suit would consume Shuri's body as well. Shuri would transform into the Black Panther suit as it consumes her, sort of like a symbiote in a way, and then she would be shot right out there into the next scene, whatever scene Marvel would decide to have there. Then I think to keep the male hero for the audience of a Black Panther, I think this same exact experience should happen to Killmonger, but in a different way. Killmonger would have the same exact experience, except for when he was transported back to his father's house again. And in this moment, as he's transported back into his father's house, he has a different answer. Because he had the same experience with Black Panther in the Chaos Portal, because he felt Black Panther's spirit and energy being given to him, Killmonger begins to have an epiphany and sees a new way of life. This experience transforms Killmonger into the Black Panther, and in that house conversation with his father's spirit, he could finally hug him and tell him he loves him. And then I think later on in the movie, somehow Shuri and Killmonger would meet up. We would see them duke it out in the battle again, get into a fight, just because it would just be cool to see them fight each other as two Black Panthers. And I think that would be like one of the most litest scenes in the theaters. I mean, that scene where everybody screams and goes crazy over. But then later in the movie, they find out that they actually had this exact same experience. So because of this bonds them into friends or possibly partners in some way. I think that most of the crowd would genuinely respect something like that, because Black Panther gave his soul to these two, and now because of their spiritual, emotional experience, they hold the role of Black Panthers. I also really think that it would be a cool addition to have one of Marvel's first villains become a protagonist. We don't really get to see that a lot in the MCU specifically, so I think it would be really cool to see Killmonger transform into an Avenger. And this would also be the perfect scenario to give female and male fans the perfect Black Panthers. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section of my ideas. If you liked this video, dislike it. If you hated this video, like it. I'm saying Lee. Peace.